All right, so Texas A&M recently inked a multimedia rights deal with Playfly Sports, which is worth $515 million over 15 years. This deal is significant not only for Texas A&M and Playfly Sports, but for college football overall, and I'm going to explain why in this video. If you're new here, please subscribe. We're building this thing brick by brick, and I'd love for you to be a part of the journey that is The Era with Brian Gregoire. And so, essentially, Playfly Sports' goal in this deal with Texas A&M is to help Texas A&M maximize revenue for all Aggie sports through fan engagement, content creation, and new events and experiences. Playfly Sports will now be handling all of Texas A&M's multimedia operations. NIL, premium experiences, and strategic partnerships all fall under that umbrella. And so what you'll be seeing a lot more of, essentially, at A&M is more opportunities for fan engagements, like activations on game day. And you'll also be seeing Playfly Sports assist Texas A&M more in securing the strategic partnerships with brands that align with Texas A&M's brand so that Texas A&M can maximize its revenue in all facets. You'll also be seeing a lot more different new events and fan experiences, such as that George Strait concert that you saw at Kyle Field a couple months ago, which was awesome, by the way. I'd love to see more events like that. And that Mexico-Brazil soccer game that took place at Kyle Field as well. You'll see a lot more really cool events and experiences like that. That's how companies like Playfly Sports help brands and athletic departments like Texas A&M maximize revenue in every single spot they can by making their overall product the best it can be. Playfly Sports is great at strategizing when it comes to that. I want to dive into what this means for Playfly Sports, because Playfly Sports was founded in 2020. So it's a considerably relatively new company in the space of multimedia rights in sports. However, they've been able to secure deals with some massive brands in college athletics. They've really maximized their footprint over these past 5 years. They've inked deals with Auburn, USC, LSU, Penn State, and more. Texas A&M is another brand for them, but it was a milestone just because of the resources that Texas A&M has and the profile, the attractive profile that is Texas A&M athletics. So, huge deal for the Playfly Sports brands and for marketing purposes in the future. I mean, that'll only attract more and more athletic departments, teams to secure deals with Playfly Sports, because if they can make something happen with A&M, the thought process will be, what does this company have cooking? How do they keep drumming up business like this? It will definitely turn heads in the space of college athletics. What does this mean for Texas A&M, you may ask? Well, Texas A&M now has an advantage over other schools that it competes with because, like I explained in the Texas Tech video last week, in July this year, revenue sharing will begin in college athletics. So student athletes won't be paid by collectives, but they will be paid directly by athletic departments. There's positives and negatives. A negative that reality has on athletic departments is that it'll be a higher cost that they will have to incur. However, through this deal that Texas A&M has with Playfly Sports, A&M will be able to offset those costs by having more money, more resources. So, yes, they may be taking a hit when it comes to costs, but they will have more money in their pockets to go out and spend on things like new facilities, upgrades, and such. They'll be able to maintain the same spending schedule that they usually do. They won't have to be any less aggressive because they will be getting $34 million a year from Playfly Sports in comparison to the $18 million a year they've gotten from Learfields. That's massive. And what does this mean for college football overall? Well, place yourself back in 2022 you could have seen this coming from a mile away. Josh Pate, who I've listened to for a very long time, talked about this at length on his show. For the past several years, collectives, NIL collectives, have been the financial hub for athletic departments. They've been at the nucleus when it comes to spending. Now, it's going to be multimedia rights companies such as Playfly Sports and Learfields that are going to be at the financial nucleus of athletic departments. And that will be the vehicle, the mechanism to attract student athletes to your school. That's what's going to bring them in, because that's what's going to finance them. That's what's going to compensate them. It's going to be the NIL opportunities that companies such as Playfly Sports carve out for brands like A&M, like Auburn. That's going to bring the student athlete in. Those strategic partnerships with brands that align with athletic departments. That's going to bring student athletes in, because those will be the opportunities that are going to financially compensate them better than anything. Instead of being directly paid by collectives, it's going to be those multimedia rights companies that are going to facilitate the payments of student athletes and help them maximize their financial worth while they're in college instead of collectives now. And so you're going to see more and more partnerships, lofty partnerships like this take place as we enter the revenue sharing era in college sports, because more and more programs are going to need this. It's going to be a necessity. They're not going to be able to take on, to absorb the increased costs associated with revenue sharing, because those athletic departments are going to have to pay those athletes themselves. That's $21 million a year you're seeing just gone through costs. You've got to have something coming in that's going to compensate for that cost that didn't exist before. And it's going to be the money that these athletic departments receive from companies like Playfly Sports and Learfields, and the opportunities that subsequently are created because of the partnership that they have with multimedia rights companies. This is the age of college athletics that we're entering. Love it or hate it, programs have to adapt and do what's necessary to remain afloat and competitive with their peers. It's all starting to fall into place, and you're going to see the smarter programs out there. They're going to adapt fast. They've seen this coming for years. Your Texas Techs, your Texas A&Ms that were ahead of the curve when it came to revenue sharing becoming a reality. But there will be others that lag behind. So it'll be interesting to see who they are and what they'll have to do to adapt and remain competitive in the future. But this Texas A&M Playfly Sports deal was massive. I don't think a lot of people realize how massive this was for the world of college athletics. And you'll be seeing many programs follow suit with what Texas A&M did with Playfly Sports in these months and years to come. Have a great day.